Just an ordinary novelty plastic halibut, you might suppose. Harmless, you would intuit. But these things are never quite as they seem. I am Count Pert Spootgruntl. Step inside my mysterious world of comedy. Consider Albert Dodds, a shy, retiring man, single. In 20 years, he had never taken a single day off work for the firm of solicitors Pugh, Barney McGrew, Cosby's, Stills and Nash. A life devoid of comedic spark, you might think. Ah-ha-ha. But comedy is a fickle mistress and can strike anyone at any time. For one day.
Dodds, it would mind terribly if I have a word with you in my office? No,
Suddenly his boss's raised buttocks afforded poor Dodds an unbelievable opportunity for a slapstick gag. He couldn't help himself. He felt his leg swing back of its own volition, but before his foot could connect with his boss's derriere, he slipped Barnet over Winchester on a conveniently placed rug. A narrow escape. But recovering on a park bench half an hour later, Dodds found himself in trouble again when he discovered his own left hand about to drop a banana skin in the path of a very fat man. These things always come in threes, and Dodds' third outrage involved a restaurant, an old lady, and a whoopee cushion. What was happening to him? Where was this comedic impulse coming from? And more importantly, when would it strike again? Soon after this, he began to believe that ordinary passers-by were recognizing him.
I'm telling you, it's him. It's never.
I think you were dead good. Dead funny.
He even thought he espied his picture in the evening press. Could he be going mad? Then one night, he found himself tuning in to a popular television program. On it appeared the great Alberti, a new comedic star. The similarity between them was uncanny, except the great Alberti was really very funny. Dodds phoned the BBC to find out when the next show would be recorded, and on that very night he set out to discover whether or not he lived a double life. That evening, after he climbed the wooden hill to Bedfordshire, Dodds tied his big toe to the iron bedstead with a piece of string. The following morning, he breathed a sigh of relief. The string was still in place. But this, in itself, proved inconclusive, as throughout the next episode, the great Alberti wore only one shoe and hopped around the stage dragging a large, bed-shaped object behind him. Dodds had to know for sure. The night of the next recording, he set off for the venue in disguise. He made his way to a table at the front. He watched act after terrible act, but there was no sign of the great Alberti. The show was almost over when Dodds made a quick trip to the gents. At that very moment, Alberti appeared on stage. It was the greatest performance of his career, a perfect fusion of satire, mime, and knob gags. But all too soon it was over. Alberti quit the stage to rapturous applause, and at that very moment, Dodds reappeared, having suffered a mysterious blackout in the loo. Distraught, he ran all the way home and tore his flat apart to find some trace of his suspected alter ego. But all he ever found was a large novelty plastic halibut. But does a plastic halibut prove a whole secret life? He would never know. And as for the great Alberti, he was never seen or heard of again. But to this day, the comedy folk keep his memory alive. There this story ends. But perhaps you and I will meet again one day, in my mysterious world of comedy.